Okay.
Yes. I did a 2-hour class last week and I forgot to hit record. I was like, oh.
Okay, live stream, but I'm not sure if it's live streaming to my main page or not. But I can't go back. So, hang on, I'll stop. Okay, live stream to, okay, to my other page. All right, great. There we go. And then see, do I come back to you? I guess, okay, it's preparing live stream. All right. Okay, it just says it's loading.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes to.
Okay. Go live. Give it a title. Do you have to do all this while you're on it?
Yeah. Well, it won't go live yet. So once you put all the information in, yeah, so it won't be live yet.
Okay. Okay. Alive. We're also alive.
Yeah.
Alive and live with awesome Patricia Lohan from Bali. Okay. Okay. I'll just write in. Great. Okay. We'll get on with it. Now. It's not. Why are there? Add a title. I did that. Right. Right. Yeah. You just have to have a bit of patience.
Here. Yeah. Hi.
Let's see.
It's saying that we're live on Facebook on
awesome.
my page, so it's all working.
Yay. Hello, everybody who's joined us on Facebook. Whether you're joining us now live, you're so welcome. We're here in Galway and Bali, the best places in the world.
I know.
Thank you, Patricia Lohan, the gorgeous Patricia Lohan, who I've been dying to chat to. Author, Feng Shui expert, and luckily you're isolated in Bali at the moment. Lucky you. Yeah. How are you, first of all?
I am absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like I've won the kind of the lockdown lottery, ending up being in Bali. It's like just so nice to be here. Yeah, I'm doing great. So I'm excited to speak to you today and to just share with you some insights about helping people with their homes. But yeah. All good here.
Oh, that's great. Well, you're looking very well and healthy and happy, and that's always the most important thing to see. Great. Okay, well, here we are in Ireland, but as we know, no matter where we are in the world, we're all at home. So yeah, what a perfect timing to speak to you, Patricia, and thank you for joining me again. So here we are, all at home, whether it's, first of all, first scenario is the family who are now working from home, kids are there, homeschooling, it's a bit chaotic, or could be. Where does one begin, Patricia? Or like, help, where do we begin? We know, and I know through your work that you can help people here with your advice and help.
So this is such a great question, and I feel like no matter whether you have loads of people at home and it's a bit hectic, or you're on your own in your house, there's definitely things you can be doing. And for me, you know, this is really a call to go within and a time to really take some stock of like where we are right now in our life and to reflect on everything. And the nice thing about Feng Shui is that it is it's one of the misconceptions about it is that it's about placement of furniture. So I'm not going to tell you about where to put your furniture or move anything like that. That's not what I do. Actually, Feng Shui is acupuncture for your home. So you know, if you're feeling a little bit off and you're not feeling great, you'd go to the acupuncturist, or you might do acupressure to really get the energy moving. And that's what we want to happen in your homes right now. So in this kind of new world where you're at home with everybody, it can feel a little bit intense, I'm sure. And I feel like one of the things that I would say is that, like, to, first of all, like being in your home right now, it's going to be an opportunity to actually kind of see what's actually playing out here while I'm here. Because we spend a lot of time in our homes, and for me, when we're in our house, it's like directly impacting our health, our well-being, our energy, our vitality. So I have like clients who have come to me in the past and they're like, oh my God, me and my husband, we get on amazingly when we're away or outside the door of our house. We walk in and all hell breaks loose. Or it's like, oh, we're such a happy, family, we all got on great, but when we're all in the house, it just seems to be loads of tension happening. And that's like a lot of like what I do is really kind of ease all of those friction points energetically in a house, so that everyone who comes in feels happy to be there, and everyone who's in the house feels really supported, but you feel really supported by your house. So it's just like really about redefining for me what feng shui is, so people kind of understand.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to like everyone being in their house, I think that one of the main things for you to do is to just, first of all, like take a few deep breaths, because like for me, the house is also going like, what the hell is going on as well? Like I always feel like our homes are like people, and they have their own energy, and it's also going, oh, what the hell is going on? So in terms of like, if we feel better when we take a really big deep breath and we just go, oh, like, oh my God, yes. So, and that brings me to like, open your windows. And that like is like, okay, we want to open the windows. We want to bring fresh air in. Like just, you were saying, Sue, about it being like, it's nippy cold outside today in Ireland, and it's that brisk cold. But really what we're going to need is like, we need more fresh air in the house. So you're like, open the windows, like air the place out, number one. Not only will that help with just get the chi moving, and that's one of the aspects, but your house has eyes, and it's the windows. So when you open the windows, firstly, you'll be able to see clearly outside, but also it's an invitation. Now, I'm not here to give you loads of homework or things that are going to be hard for you to do, but it's kind of something to think about. Be like, oh yeah, I am at home and all the paint is run out, because that's what I've been hearing from my mom and my friend. Everyone's been doing their painting. It's like, well, what else can I do around my house? You could clean the windows and even just clean one side, and that will give you more sense of clarity of like where you're going, and you can see what's coming. And it's that just like that sense of better vision. And even as you do these little things, it's like doing it with intention. So like opening the windows, just going, I am literally letting the house breathe and like release anything that's just been going on in here. Just allow the winds to just blow through the house. And then clean the windows to kind of go, okay, if I'm feeling a little bit of, and our houses are mirrors for us. So as we take action in something in our house, it mirrors back into us. So you may be feeling a bit like confused and a bit like, what's going on, and why is this all happening? And there's just so much stuff going on in the media and crazy stuff that we can either like decide to tap into it or tap out of it. And my invitation is to like tap out of the media and come back into your house and start working on what you can control. And we cannot control what's in the news. We cannot control what's going on outside in all these different countries. We can't. We would love to. We can't control what's happening to anyone, like our friends or family. But what we can look after is our own home, and what we do have, the four walls that are surrounding us, and giving absolute gratitude for that space, and really starting to recognize it as how lucky we are to all have this beautiful home over our heads that supports us, and start thinking, how can I give back to it? So we talked about opening the windows, breathing air in, cleaning the windows. And honestly, one of the big things, and people always ask me like, where do I start in my house? And I'm like, start at the front door. And literally started your front door. And like yesterday I gave a tip, and I was like, if your front door, any of your doors are like squeaking, like that squeak, we kind of don't notice it, but it's like almost the house is like crying, like it's letting out this like whinge, and it's like speaking to us. It's like, I need attention, like I need some attention. So it's like, as you start giving these little points, like these friction points, attention, it starts to ease your day. So imagine every time you walk in your front door and it squeaks and it goes, or it's tough to open the door. Like this is an opportunity to start like looking at these tiny little things that are actually impacting our energy and depleting us every day. So if it's like hard to get in, it can often represent like hard, like it's a struggle to open the door, or like it's a this kind of like push, that can just represent us having like this kind of little struggle every time we're coming into our, like every time, like letting a struggle, like letting things in and flowing. And it's just such an amazing journey as you move through your home and you start looking at things just with a new set of eyes. And that's my invitation for you right now, is to just, rather than taking the space for granted and like, oh, this is where we eat and we sleep and everyone's here, and blah, 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 and you know, just starting to just take note of the little points that could be like friction points, because those tiny little friction points, and you'll know them yourself. You know, it's just like last week I did a 5-day kind of like high vibe home project for my community, and that's like my free Facebook group, and I got them to just like, and I was just like, I want you to just today, I want you to just think of that like one cupboard or a drawer that you just like cringe when you open it. And I swear to God, like, I don't know what that cupboard or that drawer is for everyone, but it's because it's different for everyone, but we all have them. Like, we all have one, and they automatically go in, I know exactly the one. And it was just like the most fulfilling task of their day was like, I'm just going to clean out that one place that really bugs me. So it's not about like, you know, for me, people will be like, oh, I should do this. And I'm like, no, because there's too much like overwhelm at the moment anyways. So it's like, pick one thing that's going to make you feel really accomplished. It could be underneath the sink where all the freaking containers for the cleaning products are kept, and it's always a bit of a mess, and you're like, do you know what, half empty bottles and all that, like that kind of thing. Like, because what happens is you build momentum when you do small little things. So like when you open the windows and you're like, oh my God, that feels so much better. Now what's the next thing I could do? Oh God, actually I could look at the windows and clean them. Or let me go out to the front door and do the front, like clean the front door now. And, or put a bit of oil on the door. Like, it's just these tiny little things, because for me, I could talk, I have like a 7-week online program teaching people how to feng shui their homes. You know, you don't need to go there now. You have this opportunity now to just look around and be like, these little tiny tweaks. So you may be like, okay, the kids are going mad. Open the windows, open the front door, allow the energy to come in, because there's that whole mentality of stay at home. It doesn't mean that you can't like actually open your front door, because and that's one of the things, like your front door is the mouth of your house. So if your front door, and you're kind of all like, we're staying inside, if you're staying with that like door closed, it's like your house is not being fed. So like, we starve. Like, if we don't eat, we starve, and so does your house if you don't allow the energy in. So we want to call it in, and we want to like even kind of pimp it up. Like, we have just moved to a new house today, actually.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is super exciting. And one of the things that we just got picked up with this beautiful like welcome mat. And you know, maybe like right now you're not able to go out and buy yourself a welcome mat, but you can definitely like clean the steps at your front door. That is actually something that in India, the lady of the house every single morning goes out and cleans the front door, cleans the steps, because they want to only welcome in positive, new, fresh energy every single day. And the fact that you clean it out, you're like, I'm just cleaning away the old and allowing in just the new, fresh energy in. And that just intentional little tweaks around can really make a difference.
Make a difference to how you feel, and
make a difference how you feel, but also make a difference to actually bringing the energy into your house, for sure. So like with this whole like staying at home, it can be like, oh, we're not going to even get out properly, like, but you can still welcome the energy in and allow it in.
What about your back door, Patricia?
Yeah, so this is a great one. In Ireland, I know a lot of people use their back door. We're not actually a fan of that in terms of feng shui. And my invitation is actually to try and use your front door at least once a day. Because as I said, even if you use your back door, that is not going to be the mouth of the house, because it's being designed in a certain way. Our homes are like designed by an architect in a certain way that the front door is where the energy comes in, and that's where we have it. So if you're using your back door, you know, and it's so interesting. My mum is in like just down the road from Barna. She's only down the road, and she always welcomes me in the front door. She opens the front door every single day now. Every single day, she's like, I open the front door now, because she uses the back door herself. But because she knows when I'm coming, I'm like, use the front door. And like, she's been on to me. She's like, every day I just make it a habit of just opening the front door and just welcoming in the new. And I'm like, that's great. Now she's not even into this work, but her house is feng shuied, of course.
Yeah.
I couldn't even know about it.
You can feel it. You can feel it yourself.
But you can feel it yourself. Like, you could really feel it yourself. And then just like as you move, like like for that sense of like, especially for people who are like families all together at home, you know, my invitation would be like, look around and just see, do you have some like photos or images, art pictures of you as a happy family up around your house? Like a time that you were just like really in a good place. Like I have feng shuied like so many hundreds and hundreds of houses around the world. And I remember doing one lady's house and she had this beautiful family portrait up on the wall. And I was like, oh, that's a beautiful family photo that could go in your family area. It's really nice in their family area, like where they're going to spend a lot of time together. And then she was like, oh, and I was like, wow. And she's like, we had a terrible fight just before that photo was taken. And I was like, oh my God, like that is not good energy to even be holding on to. Okay, it's this beautiful like photo, but what she sees is everyone fighting. Like that's what she sees. When she sees that picture, she thinks of an argument, not of like a day that we all were out at the beach or in Silver Strand building sandcastles. That was so good, you know? So it's like, there's like subtle things that you want to do to nuance this the energy of like, what is your intention? You know, oftentimes we can look at like hang art on our walls that is just like, that means nothing to us. That is no proper symbolism of like what we want to create or how we want to feel in our lives, what we want to create. And I say like, you can use your home to like create a vision board for your future and for what you want. So I would highly recommend like, if there's kind of friction or any kind of like tension, go around and just look at the artwork on your walls. Like, is it saying, you know, if it's a single person, is it all single images you have on the walls? Like if you want to call in love, we need to replace it. So you can't go get art this minute, but I actually have a client who's in Australia right now, and she's wanted to call in love. She's on her 4th week now inside, and we've been doing the feng shui, and she has literally printed out pictures, like just gone and printed out a printer. Like this does not need to be a big effort. I've had other clients who've literally painted images of what they wanted. You know, they've actually gone and done some art. So it's like getting creative, but like move around and be like, does this art on this wall like represent where I'm going? Like, does it represent what I want? Does it make me feel really good? You know, I don't know. It must be because you're in Galway, and I just think of my mom and dad because they're there now, and it's where I grew up. But like I was home a few months ago, and we were wandering around her house, and we were just chatting. And she was like, look at this table I got. Like she got so excited about this small little side table. She's like, it's exactly what I wanted. I was so excited. Oh. And if anyone who's on who knows my mom, like you totally get it. Like she's so, like when she's like loves something, she's so excited about it. And it was so interesting because we were looking at it, and then she turned around and there was this like little ornament that she'd already moved from one room to another because she was like, oh, I don't know whether I like it or not. And you know, so she moved it. She's like, yeah, I suppose I'll keep it. And then I was like, do you feel as good about that ornament as you do about this table? And she's like, oh no, I don't. Oh, I'm getting rid of that now. And it was such an easy cue to like shift into like looking at like things from a different perspective. It's like, if there's things in your house that will kind of like make you feel like, ugh, or they don't like fill you with joy, maybe this is the time to just like put it out in the shed, like move, like start looking at your house in a different way.
Yeah, that's it. Because a lot of us would, and especially maybe in our parents' houses, or well, anyway, we hold on to things and memorabilia and ornaments from the past, but not necessarily out of feeling that we should, you know. And
oh my
they're
God,
not, and so it's actually hanging on to the past there rather than looking to where you want to be. It's very, very good. Yeah.
Really good. And like the thing is, actually we also talked last week, the week before, on my 5-day project, I had the ladies like, go and find something from like an old career or an old job that you don't use anymore. People like found old like suits that they never wear, or like old pay slips from like 10 years ago. It's like, I don't need this. Like, and when you're holding on to those things, so it's not like, for me, I think that, you know, the idea of everyone doing this epic declutter is like, feels like kind of stressful, could be a real stressful thing, but it's kind of like just looking around and be like, is there some stuff here that doesn't align with where I want to go? And that will like help you kind of find the things, like for example, like old business cards from old businesses that you ran, or you know, books from a course that you did like 10 years ago. Like you're never going to read them again. Like they are literally, like holding and creating stagnant energy. So what I talked about was about bringing the energy into your house. And the main thing, you know, I remember one of my very early Feng Shui consultations, I was working with a lady in an old farmhouse, and we walked around the house, and there was this like bookcase, just a bookcase there, and it had like some really old books on it. And I was like, tell me about this bookcase. And she's like, oh geez, I don't know, that's here since I moved in. And I was like, okay, and are the books here as long? And she's like, yeah, I don't think anyone ever touched it. And I was like, okay, so when did you move in? And she's like, 37 years ago. Wow. And I was like, okay. So for me, I'm like, you know, if she wanted to keep them or not, but she just had no, they were just sitting there. But the thing is, when we talk about, like, even as an acupuncturist doing someone's house or doing someone's body, what they're trying to move and shift is stale and stagnant chi, like the old energy, and trying to move fresh energy. But we look at it almost like, if you just think about a pond or like a bowl of water, like that's left out, it goes all moldy and gross and and stagnant and smelly. And that's essentially what that bookcase was doing in that corner for 37 years. It was creating such stagnancy in her home, and she didn't even realize it. So it's like really giving yourself an opportunity to like look at things that are just sitting there for the sake of it. And it's like, okay, like, do I need this? Do I use it? Do I want it? Do I love it? Like, why is it here? You know, and that is directly impacting like your energy, your health. And the more you're spending in your house, the more time you're spending there, the more these things are going to be impacting your energy, your enthusiasm, your focus, your clarity, everything, your health.
Totally. Yeah, I totally agree. And for those who haven't like maybe experienced this type of work before, I always feel a great way is, you know, the way telling them if they're around somebody, or, you know, you can, without realizing, they can feel a person's energy. Or if you have people who you walk into a house and they say, no, I just know it was for me. It's like, without realizing, they're picking up on the energy of that space. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same in their home.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And the thing is, because we get so used of our home, we don't really think about it, you know. And one of the things I get people to do is to think about, well, like, how has your life improved since you moved in? Has it improved? Have things got better? Have they got worse? Like, and then Feng Shui works on all aspects of your life. So it's not just like, oh, it's for money. It's amazing for helping people support it, have way more abundance and welcome more abundance and money into their lives, but it's also their health and their community and relationships. And, you know, I've had so many women meet and marry their husbands in my program. I've had so many clients who've just like had these huge, amazing windfalls, or their business has taken off, and clients who've got on TV and just like amazing things. But it's all because the Feng Shui is a holistic approach. It's looking at every aspect. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to do this course about money, or I'm just going to do, it's like when you start working on it and start working on your home, it really can support you on all levels.
Yeah, that's it. There's never just one level. It's like the whole being. And so I think for the key now is for people to have happy homes. Because when you're happy and calm at home, then everything begins to fall more into place. So is there certain things that people can do besides what you said to create that, or just basically start where you said, bring in that nice fresh air, really look at what you've got around you? Does it bring me joy? You know, why do I have it? And as regards working, I know it's not a good idea to work or have your workspace in your bedroom. You're like, no. So, what about working at the kitchen table? Should one put the stuff away when they're done, and now that becomes...
And you know what? I've had clients who have had to have their desk in their bedroom. Like, they've had to work from their office, their bedroom, and that's the only place they had. And I'm like, okay. I have like clients in studio apartments in New York, and they run their business, they live there, they sleep there, they eat there in like one room, you know. And the big thing is about like creating clear boundaries. So for example, my clients who are working from the bedroom, first of all, it is about setting up yourself for success in terms of like having a nice strong wall behind you, being able to see the door. So you're not sitting like in a vulnerable place, like crouched over with the door behind you. Like you want to try and just set yourself up. And then at the end of the day, when they're finished work, she basically tucks in her table and puts a shawl over it, or even puts a closed sign on it. I've had clients put closed signs or off, so that like it's this like really clear boundary of like, I'm closed now, I'm off, no more work. So that's one thing with the bedroom. It's not ideal, but like nobody's living in an ideal scenario right now, you know, in terms of their working living situations. But you have to do what you can. So if you are working from home and you're working in your bedroom, pack everything away at nighttime. Like, don't leave your work stuff in your room. You know, I've had so many clients that I've gone to their home and their bedrooms have like loads of exercise equipment. Well, that's really exhausting. So like, cover it at nighttime or put it away, put it into a nice like wicker basket so it's not visual or you can't see it. It's the same with your work stuff. Like, that is like, you need to be able to switch off. So I definitely encourage you, like, getting yourself set up and having like, this is my work day. And even like some kind of anchor that means that you're working like at your desk, you know, whether it's like, this candle is me with my work zone here. And then when I take this all away, I'm off, and I put like my perfume bottle and, you know, my makeup back on it. And it's just like switches it, you know. And then the other thing in terms of like work, if you're working, say, for example, from the kitchen table, that's totally fine as well. But you need to definitely switch it. So I've had clients where they basically, at the end of their day, they have a cupboard, they put all the work stuff into the cupboard, and then they set the table with like placemats and a nice vase, and they make it like, this is the dinner table now, you know. So it's not like the dining room table gets covered with all your work stuff. And this is, again, really good practice in terms of just boundaries with your work, because the thing is, we're all at home and we're all online, and it's really easy to tap into like, oh, I'll just message this person. Oh, I'll just write this email now. Oh, I'll just do that. And the thing is, it's been a huge lesson for me. I've been online now for like 5 years nearly. And it's those clear boundaries. Like, it's so easy for someone to like post on my Facebook on a Saturday morning or a Sunday, and I'm like, I don't reply until Mondays. You know, they know my guidelines. It's like, create those boundaries, because you're only going to facilitate it. You're going to facilitate people expecting your response immediately. So that's just like a little kind of from my experience of the online world of like, if you're working from home, that like, you literally set your times and you're like, this is what I'm starting this time, I finish at this time, and then I'm putting it away. And that will, you know, because it can get really, it's just really easy to kind of go, oh, I still have this thing to do, and I'll just do it. Especially if you're self-employed, you know, you want to be able to close the door on it or put this close sign on or whatever. It'd be really good. That's it.
And I've been there, right? And as well. And that's why I decided to do the whole declutter this week and create firmer boundaries, because it's like, I'll just do this. And it's all fine for a while, right? But it actually builds up. And then when you start getting more irritable, or you realize that your work or that time online or the endless Zoom calls or whatever is actually, it's taking you over, and you don't know what's wrong with you then. It's because you haven't had those clear boundaries for yourself. So
you haven't. And it's so exciting, and it's so exhausting, but also it's like, when you're on all the time, just like having your work stuff in your bedroom, or even like, oh, I'll just sit here on the couch and do my work on the laptop. Like, you know, you need to be able to, like, if you're sitting on your couch in the evening time, you need to be like, this is my chill time. I'm not working on the laptop here, you know. And just it's just these like subtle things, because you can dip into it really easily, and then it's like, no, because you'll never be able to like manage your energy as well. And the thing is, with all of this technology time and this work that we're doing, there's an amazing book called The 5-Hour Workday, and you know, we think that like the Industrial Revolution brought in like the 8-hour workday. But actually, because we are doing the industry was all about physical labor. It was like physically working for 8 hours a day, and we're not using the same kind of like brain power when we're doing physical work. But actually, the brain power, we only can really do 4 to 5 hours on a computer or any of this kind of really intense brain stuff. It's so exhausting. So it's like, how can you like tighten your time up that you're working on this tech stuff, because you need that time off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's so important right now. And if we can instill these good boundaries and use this time now to create all of this healthier, happier, energized space at home and new boundaries, when we do get out again beyond super value, we'll be so much more prepared, and our well-being can be improved, and everything can be so much better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They were just telling me today here in Bali, the taxi driver was saying to us that like all the kids are out cycling. Like they never cycle anywhere usually. He's just like, everyone is exercising. He's like, everybody's exercising. And I'm like, wow. He's like, nobody ever did this. He's like, everyone is exercising at the moment. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah, no, it's amazing. So at least you're all able to get out and about there. And tell me.
So we. Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
So in Bali, the ban is we all have to wear masks. Like everyone has to wear masks. Everybody. And the 90% of the shops and everything are all closed. We're still allowed to like leave our house, but there's no big gatherings are allowed. So there's maybe like a handful of like coffee shops open and cafes, because there's still tourists here. So there'll be nowhere for them to go. Like there's still people who decide to stay. So there'll be nowhere for them to like eat or go, or, so there's a few cafes open, and they're like you're very distant apart from them. And yeah, so it's very different. Like everything else is shut off. Like it's a very social place here in Bali. So there's usually like a lot of events and a lot of people gathering, and all of that's off. All the yoga studios, like all those big places are all closed right now, which is very unusual. And I think you were just saying that the streets of Galway and like around Galway are so quiet. It's the same. It's the same here in Bali. Yeah, very quiet. But we're not like, it's not like restricted to like a distance, or we can still go out, but it's not many people are out.
Yeah, we can go our 2K, but you can do 2K a few times and suddenly you've got 10K. Like, I mean, reframe how you do it, and
create a loop.
And you're near the beach. If anybody has nature around, there's nothing to say you can't go outside your door and even absorb that nature. Tell me, Sorry, no, go on, Patricia.
You're okay. I would say, like, if you can go outside, just get your bare feet on the grass. Like, especially if you're on Zoom or technology all day, like get your feet on the grass, hug a tree. Actually, I just saw a post there about like the people in Iceland are being recommended to go and hug trees. And there's some incredible books about the hidden life of trees that I've just read that are credible about the energy of trees, and that nature is just so good for us. And that's what we really need to reconnect with. And when it comes to Feng Shui, when I'm working with clients, really the main philosophy is we are bringing the home back into the same nature, energy and vibration as nature. So when you're out by the sea down in Silver Strand or in Barna Woods, you can just feel the magic of the energy there and how good you feel in it. And that's what we're recreating in your home with Feng Shui.
So having some plants in your house would be a good idea.
Yeah, plants are great. Like they represent life and growth. Yeah, for sure. Plants are great. There's no cactus.
No cactus. Right. Because they're prickly and
basically.
On
it's
attack.
Like, go away.
Yeah.
Go
I
away,
guess,
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about a lot of us are spending a lot of time, more time maybe in our kitchen, cooking. What can we do with our kitchen? Is there anything you would recommend?
So with kitchens, what do I say for kitchen? So one of the big things is like the cooker is associated with prosperity. It's heavily associated with prosperity. So all of you doing extra cooking is amazing. Keeping your stoves going and even like turning them all on full power is great. It's like a little like Feng Shui kind of old kind of tale. And they say like turn up all your stoves on full blast to welcome prosperity in. But yeah, making sure that your stove and your cooker is in really good working order, really clean, really organized. Like one of the things is that like when you have like really busy shelves, there's like no and countertops, there's no space to like welcome in the new. So when you're in the kitchen, I feel like I've seen so many people cooking amazing things and doing loads of cookery. that like what I would say is like I've seen loads of people do that, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing, you know, that there's an opportunity to really connect with that time, that space of the kitchen. And then like for the kitchen is one of the main things I would say in the kitchen, especially to ease tension in the home, if there's any tensions, is to put your knife block away. Put your no knives on display. So if you do have knives, just take them out of the knife block and put them in the drawers. Knives represent like weapons. I've had instances of clients who have literally like, you know, couples who have been arguing all the time, and then they're like, I'm like, okay, put the knives away from the kitchen. And you know, there's a lot more deeper work in the work I do, but you know, for simple things, and that can really ease communication because it also relates to a specific part of your home depending on where your kitchen is located. So yeah, I would take the knives out, and I would also in terms of the kitchen kind of minimize the amount of red. So like if you have like lots of red in your kitchen, I would start like taking out, like, so basically, you know, we're working with the 5 elements: fire, water, metal, earth, and wood with Feng Shui. And red can be, an amazing element. It's amazing energy because, or fire is an amazing, because it creates, it helps us cook, but it also destroys. It's also very aggressive. It's also, people can, like, it can create burnout. So if you have like a lot of red around your house right now, like, and you're feeling like some tension or just kind of stress, I would be really encouraging you to kind of like, just like, you know, if you've extra red cushions, you know, take them away, put them in the cupboard, like, especially to kind of ease that in the house, and especially in the kitchen. We want to kind of minimize red because there's already a lot of fire in your kitchen. There's a lot of fire element in your cooker and the stove.
Oh, very good. Yeah, no, that's helpful. That's helpful. And so I'll obviously have to get my teenagers to finally open their windows and doors and shake out the duvet, and you know how they're becoming hermits. It's crazy. Yeah. What else do I want to ask you? Tell me about your book. I'm going to look on Facebook and see if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, fantastic.
Like to post.
No problem.
And in the meantime, while I'm doing that, tell me, please, and all of us about your book.
Yeah, sure. So in late 2018, I released a book called The Happy Home, and it's a guide to creating a happy, healthy, wealthy home. And basically it came from demand. I've had so many people reach out to me and say, look, where do I start with Feng Shui? So I have an online program where I teach people how to Feng Shui their homes. And it's a very personalized process. So for me, every house is completely unique. And it has its own energy, its own imprint, and we create personal reports for everyone. But a lot of, like, up until now, some people that would have found me have like just kind of found me, and they're like, oh, you're so enthusiastic about houses. I'm not quite ready to do a personal report yet. Like, and do a personal consultation. I just want to get, like, you know, just get a feel for it. And that's what that book is. It really gives you an idea of like my own personal journey finding Feng Shui. You know, I use Feng Shui to attract my husband. We've grown an absolutely phenomenal global business with clients like all over the world, helping thousands of women. It's been amazing. And then seeing huge transformation for clients. As I said, we've had clients like double their business the first month, treble it the second month. I've had clients over a year 10x their businesses. I've had other clients have like absolutely incredible success with their families, where they've been on the verge of divorce and had to lose their homes, to now getting that all back on track. And it's just been an amazing journey to witness. So the book talks about some of those stories and gives you ideas of like how your home can either be supporting you or actually like be very unsupportive. And like a lot of people who find me kind of realize, oh my God, like I didn't realize that my home was impacting my life so badly or so well. So there can be like, and the thing is, because there's so many aspects to it, it's like some parts of your life could be completely flourishing and like really going amazing, but other parts may be a little bit out of balance. And that's what we look at when we come to Feng Shui. It's like, where are the parts that are out of balance, that you're not succeeding? So you're working really hard, but you're not getting the results you want. You know, your kids, you're trying so hard with your kids, but they're always fighting, or you know, your relationship is feeling a bit like not like how it used to, like those kind of aspects is usually when people come to me, or they're feeling kind of stuck and they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, at least you have a house and we can work on the energy of your house, and then that ripples back into your life. So yeah, it was just a joy to write the book. I've had amazing amazing feedback from it, and oftentimes it just kind of like is a nice like taster into the world of it. And for me, there's so much online, like you can Google so much about Feng Shui, and that's one of the things I say to people when they join my program is I'm like, if you have like read anything about Feng Shui anywhere online, just ignore it. We're starting from scratch here. Because sometimes it's just like real, like weird stuff. Like I'm not about like hanging like weird frogs or trinkets around your house or anything. Like that's not my thing. Like I'm like an energy worker for someone's house. Like I just want them to have a house that they love and that supports them with what they want. And really, for me, Feng Shui is the final piece of the kind of manifesting jigsaw. So if you're into law of attraction, you've been doing inner work, you're doing the mindfulness, you're creating and setting your intentions, you're working on yourself, that's absolutely phenomenal. But what gets left behind is our house, and that's what holds us back. And that's kind of how I got into Feng Shui. Was my clients were doing, I was working with them doing amazing work in their energy work, clearing, you know, they were just doing phenomenal work, but then their houses were kind of like, were holding them back.
God, it's so interesting. And like that, what's nice now is there's so much we can do. A lot of people are, say, concerned financially because they don't know what's down the line. So there's so much they can do without spending money right now in their own home to make a difference. And tell me one thing about the prosperity area of your home, or abundance. If somebody,
so for abundance, so for abundance, the prosperity area is in the southeast area of your home. And you know, the number one thing I would say to that is just go and find that area, stand in it, look around. And if there's anything broken, get rid of it. If there's anything depleted, get rid of it. If it feels like, you know, doesn't feel good, like bring some flowers into it. You want to make it feel better.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I just want to see if anybody has any questions, they can post them on Facebook or get back to us later. Is your book on Amazon, Patricia? It sounds like a great read.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. The Happy Home
by Patricia Lohan.
Happy, healthy. That's right. Yeah.
See, that's it. It's all of these things that boost our well-being. Simple, easy things, but it's being aware. Again, it comes down to being aware is the first step, isn't it? And then,
for sure.
So we'll all be walking around our houses today looking at what we can do. So I have, actually, there's a lovely friend of mine, a mindfulness mentor, Daniela Hayes, and she's from Australia, lived in Bali. So she's on here now. They have just relocated back to Australia for the time being, but she said she's watching and she misses Bali so much. She loves it there. Yeah.
Sending you Bali vibes.
Yeah, so lucky. So great suggestion, she says, and thank you. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, one or two others, but they can also watch later. And if anybody wants to work with you, Patricia, or find out more, and you haven't seen the end of me, by the way.
The easiest way to find me is at patricialohan.com, and I have several different guides there. So for example, if it's a financial stuff that's going on for you now, I have a guide about turning your house into a money magnet. So there's loads of tips there about finances. If it's like working from home stuff, I have a guide about setting up your office for success. So there's lots of different tips there. I have some meditations as well. So you can hop on over there. And then also I do a weekly video. So there'll be loads of tips on my website there. So just come on over there. I'm also on Instagram at Lohan Patricia. But if you come over to my website, you can get access and invite to my Facebook group. So I'm always doing like fun things over there as well, just to support my community as well.
Yeah, that is so great. Oh, that's so helpful. So helpful. I'm
You're
dying
welcome.
to get going now.
You're welcome.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to put a link to your website. I had it, but I'll put another one in. A link to your website. Let's see. Enjoying all the tips, Elaine, Kenny, and so you can.
Thanks a million.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us here, like
You're welcome.
globally, because this is, we're all in the same boat, we're all connected, we're all going through
Yeah.
the same things, and the happier, healthier we can make ourselves and our homes, it radiates out. So that's the whole.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And then like this is the last thing. I'm just like focus on what we can control. And like right now we have our own.
Patricia, you're frozen. Hopefully you'll come back.
Hello, I'm back.
I can hear you. Oh. It's just your picture is frozen.
I don't know.
But lucky you're looking good in the picture, so don't worry.
Good. Oh my God, I had a terrible one yesterday with my friend. She sent me this picture of me. My eyes were like, it was like really rotten. It was very bad. No. Like I just screenshotted it because it was just too funny, and I'm like, no, don't show it to anyone.
I know. Well, there's nothing like being live where you can really see the person and their personality and take up.
Yeah.
So best of luck with your new home. Best of luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just have like lots of unpacking to do, lots of sorting to do, lots of feng shui, but it'll all come together. I'm kind of looking forward to diving into that tomorrow. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Anyone wants to come follow me, reach out. I'd love to support you. And if you have any questions, you can tag me here. I'm happy to answer them. But thanks a million. Sending you lots and lots of love from Bali over to Ireland and to Galway. And talk to you later.
Thanks, Patricia. Chat soon. Let me see where to press.